Hey there! In today's video, we're going over the 2015-2016 TMSCA General Math Test number 1. Let's do it. Alright, Maria bought 3 shirts that cost $15.63, $22.10, and $17.98. What was Maria's total? Alright, so we just have to do simple addition. So 15.63 plus 22.10. Alright, so we can just add. So 3, 7, 3. So that's 37.73. Next we add 17.98. So 17.98. Alright, so 3 plus 8 is 11, so we carry the 1. That becomes 8. 8 plus 9, which is 17, so we carry the 1 again. That becomes 8 plus 7, which is 15, so we carry the 1 again. That becomes 5, so we get 55.71. And that's your answer. Next, Marco has 648 pieces of candy and he wants to divide amongst himself and 2 friends. How many pieces of candy will one of Marco's friends receive? Alright, so if he's dividing amongst himself and 2 friends, he's dividing amongst 3 people. So that's just 648 divided by 3. Alright, so we can do that pretty easily. So 648 and 3. So 3 goes into 6 twice, so we subtract 6 and we get 0. Then we bring down the 4. 3 goes into 4 once, so we subtract 3, and we get left with 1, and we bring down this 8, and 3 goes into 18 6 times, so we have 6, and we get 216, and that's your answer. Next, Monet started out with 144 flowers walking home. As she walked, 38 fell on the ground and were lost. How many flowers did Monet end up with when she made it home? Alright, so we have 144 at the beginning, and she lost 38, so that's just 144 minus 38. That gets you 106, and that's your answer. Next, while walking past the farm, Pauline saw 8 cows and 12 pigs. How many animal legs did Pauline see? Alright, so we have 8 cows, so let's say 8C, and 12 pigs, so 12P. So we know that a cow has 4 legs, so we can say that C is just 4, so 8 times 4. And we know that a pig also has 4 legs, so we can just say P is 4, so 12 times 4, and then we just add those up together. So 8 times 4 is 32, and 12 times 4 is 48. When you add those up, that gets you 80, and that's your answer. Next, what is a prime factorization of the number 200? Alright, so I actually have a full video on this, which will be linked in the pinned card at the top. But let's continue with this problem. So 200, so we have the number 200 right here. So we can break this up into 2 and 100. So we just want to break it up down to the smallest prime number possible, and then we just circle all the prime factors and then figure out the prime factorization. I'll explain that in a few seconds. So 2 and 100. Next, 100 can be divided into 2 and 50. Next, 50 can be divided into 2 and 25. Alright, now 25 can no longer be divided by 2, so we can divide it by 5 though. So 5 and 5. And now, 5 is also a prime number, meaning you can't divide it by any other number other than 1 and itself. So this is what we can break it down into. So now we have to find the prime factorization. So how we do that is we take our 2 numbers. So we have 2 and 5. So we multiply them against each other. However, that's not all we do. We have to find the power. So to do that, we have to find how much times 2 comes and how much times 5 comes. So 2 comes 1, 2, 3 times, and 5 comes 1, 2 times. So that's 2 power 3 because it comes 3 times, and 5 power 2 because it comes twice. And that's your answer. Next, how many diagonals can be drawn from one vertex of a regular pentagon with a side length of 10 inches? Alright, right off the bat, I'm telling you, this side length information is completely irrelevant. You don't need any of this. We just need to know how many diagonals can be drawn from one vertex of a regular pentagon. Alright, so in a pentagon, you have 5 sides, right? Alright, so the formula to find how many diagonals can be drawn from one vertex of a shape is just the amount of sides a shape has, so n minus 3. In this case, a pentagon has 5 sides, so it's 5 minus 3, which is 2, and that's your answer. Next, which of the following numbers below is rational? Alright, so we have pi, negative 2.222222222, and 6 root 3, root 5, and 1.01100010001000001000001. Alright, so we have to figure out which one is rational. Right off the bat, pi is not rational because that's actually considered the most famous irrational number because it doesn't have a pattern. It just keeps going randomly forever. Next, we have B, negative 2.22222. Alright, so there is a pattern here because it's just 2 repeating every single time. So this is rational, but let's check the other ones just to make sure. 6 root 3. Alright, so when you can't complete this anymore, this is immediately an irrational number. So this is not it. Then root 5, again, same thing. If it's a root by itself, it's a rational number, unless it can be converted into a perfect square. And then finally is E. So this is just a random pattern. Even though it has a pattern, it's not the repeating. And it's not terminating either. So this is irrational. So that means we're left with B, and that's your answer. Next, what is the GCF of the numbers 54 and 36? Alright, so I actually have a full video on this, which will be linked in the pinned card at the top. But let's continue with this problem. So to find the GCF, you just want to find the difference between the numbers, so in this case 54 and 36, and then you want to see if that number can perfectly go into the other two numbers. So what that means is, if we take these two numbers, 54 minus 36, that equals 18. Right? So now if 18 goes into 36 twice, and 18 goes into 54 3 times, which means it perfectly goes into both numbers. So that is your GCF. However, let's say that number didn't. So let's say it didn't. So we would have to break up 18 into its factors. So 2 and 9, 1 and 18, 6 and 3. And then you would just go from the biggest number all the way to the lowest number until you find the number that goes into both of these numbers. But in this case, 18 does, and that's your answer. Next, what is the perimeter of a regular pentagon with a side length of 4.5 inches? So a pentagon has 5 sides, and if each of the 5 sides is 4.5 inches, that means the perimeter is just 5 times 4.5. So 5 times 0.5 is 2.5, because that's just half of 5, and 5 times 4 is 20. So when you add these two up, you get 22.5, and that's your answer. Next, Timothy wants to buy a shirt that has an original price of $45. If the shirt is on sale for 30% off, how much will Timothy save? Alright, so we have $45 and 30%. So we're trying to find 30% off of 45. So to solve this, we can just do 45 times 0.3. Because 0.3 is equal to 30%. Because when you have a percent, like so 30%, and you want to change it to a decimal, all you have to do is, you just have to go back 2 decimal places. So 1, 2. Now becomes 0.30, not 30. Alright, so it's 45 times 0.3. So we can just move this forward 1 spot just temporarily. That becomes 45 times 3. 45 times 3 is 135. However, we have to move it back 1 decimal place. So it's 13.5. So after moving it back 1 decimal place, we get 13.5. And that's your answer. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to show your support. These videos take a lot of effort to make, and I would really appreciate it.